What's going on, man? This is your boy Reg Hatchett, aka Spoken Water. I'm here to address the hot topic of LeBron James and the Miami Heat. Let me start off by saying that I majored in communications. And what that simply means is that I have a better understanding of the way that the media works than, say, the average consumer, the average listener, reader, whoever. Now, believe me when I tell you that there are heads of these media conglomerates, like the head of NBC, the head of CBS. These people are friends, and they speak to each other on a regular basis. They have private meetings about what doesn't make the news, what does make the news, and how what makes the news, how it's going to be spun to give off whatever message they want it to give off. So, I say this to say, the people who are in power have a vested interest in their kind staying in power, and they've done a great job of making sure that this happens, which is why there are no African American owners in the NBA, and very few in sports in general, and there are no African American heads of networks and television and stuff like that. Very few people are able to crack into that upper echelon, and that's because they protect what they have very well. So, I say this, Miami Heat, what they represented was a change in the power structure, because those three young black athletes, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, LeBron James, they were all in line to receive the league maximum of with their respective teams. None of them accepted that. They all accepted less, to come together, to play together, to achieve greatness over an extended period of time. They figured that if they played together, they could make a bigger impact than they would have if they had all tried to do it individually. Now, this is a great concept that we need more black people, especially black men, to embrace, that we need to work together instead of working against each other. The whole concept of player hating or hatred towards someone who's excellent at something, especially if it's something that you do, that you guys can coexist and be better together. They don't want that to spread. They don't want that idea to spread across the NBA, because if it does, they lose power. Take, for example, someone like Chris Paul. If he says, you know what, I'm not going to go after the league maximum and stay in New Orleans. I'm going to go take less, and I'm going to play with Carmelo and Amari Stoudemire in New York. This cripples the team owner of New Orleans. This cripples his economy. And it also helps the economy in New York City. But that power is in Chris Paul's hands and not in the hands of someone making the decision for him, like an agent. And I mentioned agent for a reason. Did you know LeBron James, and I have to say, it's hard to disagree that he was one of the most highly sought-after rookies the NBA has ever seen. He could have went with any number of power agents the NBA has, but he didn't. What he did was he financed his friend's way through school, made him go through the proper channels, and upon him becoming an agent, he gave himself to his friend, meaning that he became his friend's first client. So not only am I going to pay for you to go to school, I want you to go through the proper channels to do it the right way, but as soon as you finish, you got the number one player in the NBA as your first client. And soon after, other clients will come because I'm LeBron James. Now, this is another example of black men working together. And instead of saying that, okay, I know that I'm in the NBA now, I have to get me a really rich, powerful white agent, he empowered his man. He empowered his friend. That concept needs to spread. They don't want it to spread, which is why the Miami Heat, which is why LeBron James has been demonized in the media so much lately. Now, you may think it's just because he's playing bad. No. They want him to be a villain. They want to vilify him so that nothing he does will have credibility in the public's eye. You see all kind of videos popping up all over the place with people disrespecting LeBron James. What did he do wrong? What did any of the Miami Heat do wrong? Has Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, or LeBron James been associated with any off-the-court fuckery? No. Have they got caught smoking weed, got caught with a gun, any public disturbances, DUIs, domestic abuse? None of that. So these have been three model citizens, as far as the NBA is concerned, deciding to come together, for the greater good and for extended excellence. There's no problem with that. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't play subpar against the Dallas Mavericks. They did. Dallas has a much better team. There were some things that Miami should have done different. But let's not allow the media to turn these guys, especially LeBron, into villains or into buffoons simply because they lost the NBA championship. Magic lost 2 NBA championships. Kobe's lost 2 NBA championships. I mean, the list goes on. Larry Bird lost an NBA championship. Almost every great player the NBA has seen has lost a championship before. So it's not the end of the world for the Miami Heat. As a matter of fact, they were probably ahead of schedule because most people didn't anticipate them winning it the first year. If they had won, it would have been a plus. But they're going to be a team that's going to be around for a minute. And I'm not just saying that the root for Miami because they're good. No, I'm saying that as a black man, as a black person, we should want to see that idea do well so it can spread. I would love to see Chris Paul go to New York and play with Melo and Amari. I would love to see other young men do that and say, you know what, I don't care what my agent says because he goes to the same country club as the owner of this other team. I'm gonna try to send him there. That deal's made by the poolside at some country club. No. Now the deals are gonna be made at a bowling alley or on a couch while they're playing 2K12 or something like that. Yo, I'm going to come play with you next year. Now that puts the power not back into the hands because we've never had it before, but it puts the power in the hands of the athletes who are now making these better decisions. This is just food for thought. I don't want to talk all day. I'm looking forward to your comments and your responses to this. Once again, this is Red Hatchet. Peace.